It is no secret that on season 15, Sasha Colby had one of the greatest and most dominant season runs we have ever seen. Today though, I'm going to be trying to answer the question, is Sasha Colby unbeatable? To do this, I will be looking at a couple scenarios in which Sasha Colby competes and does not take home the crown, and then determining whether the scenario is an actual thing that could happen, or just completely insane fanfiction. The first hypothetical I will be looking at is a season where Anitra takes home the crown. So this scenario is Anitra's likeliest path to a crown. Anitra's path to victory starts in the Lollapalooza. Anitra and Sasha Colby lip-sync to I'm in Love with a Monster. It is one of the best lip-syncs of the season, and in this timeline, it is a double save. In this timeline, Sasha still gets a lot of focus for being a good performer, but Anitra doesn't lose 2 lip syncs in an episode and have a slightly damaged track record because of that. The second component of this scenario is the ball. If she wants to have even a chance at the crown, Anitra needs to win the ball over Sasha. I think there are 2 ways in which this happens. Number 1, Anitra's terrible sugar ball look is greatly improved. Number 2, the final runways are weighed a lot heavier and Anitra gets the win through that. Regardless of which option happens, it does happen and Anitra wins the ball. This puts her at 2 wins to Sasha's 1. The third and most subtle component of this challenge is Anitra gaining 2 high placements throughout the season. The first one is in the episode 2 commercial challenge, and the second one is in the 50-50 interview challenge. These placements are required to bump Anitra up as a competitor that could actually take down Sasha. On the original season going into the comedy challenge, Anitra had a win and a bottom and a score of 3.33, and Sasha had 3 wins and 0 bottoms and a score of 3.89. In this changed scenario though, Anitra has 2 wins and 0 bottoms, and Sasha has 2 wins and 0 bottoms. While Sasha's track record is still slightly better than Anitra's, they are a lot closer in this timeline, which is very important for this hypothetical. The final thing that would need to happen for Anitra to win this season is the following. The comedy challenge is judged entirely in teams, giving Luxx and Lucy a win, Selena and Mistress as high, Marsha as low, and Anitra and Sasha in the bottom. Anitra and Sasha lip sync, and while I do believe this would be a double save, there is an ever so slight chance that production goes for the gaggiest elimination ever and sends home Sasha Colby in 7th place. If that is the case, Anitra is the Queen Slayer, goes on to win 2 more challenges, goes into the finale with the best track record, the most fan support, and likely takes home the season. Now we have the most important question, could this actually happen? I would say probably not, but nothing here is too ridiculous. I'm in Love with a Monster being a double save is not ridiculous, Anitra winning the ball is not ridiculous, and while Anitra beating Sasha in that lip sync is a stretch, it could still maybe happen. All of that said, I doubt this scenario would ever possibly happen, and for that, I don't think Anitra could beat Sasha. So for that, I would give a point to the category of yes, Sasha is unbeatable. The second scenario I will be looking at is a scenario where the crown goes to Luxx Noir London. For this hypothetical, Luxx's path to the crown starts in girl groups. The country girl group did a very good job, and there is a shot that all 4 of them could have gotten a shared win for this challenge. For Luxx to have a chance at beating Sasha, this will have to take place. This change moves one of Luxx's safe placements to a win and one of Sasha's high placements down to safe. The second part of this hypothetical is the 50-50 interview challenge. In this scenario, Luxx will get the win over Sasha because while her runway was slightly below Sasha's, Luxx did a great job in the challenge and had a much more difficult interview partner. With that in mind, Luxx is now at 3 wins to Sasha's 2. Outside of this, the rest of the season will play out exactly as it did, which means going into the finale, Sasha has 3 wins in the commercial challenge, the ball, and the remix, and Luxx has 4 wins in the design challenge, girl groups, interviews, and comedy challenge. Looking at these changes in track record going into the finale, we see Luxx go from having 2 wins, 1 bottom, and a score of 3.46, to 4 wins, 1 bottom, and a score of 3.69. We also see Sasha go from 4 wins and a score of 3.85 to 3 wins and a score of 3.62. In this scenario, Luxx is actually going into the finale ahead of Sasha. It is time for the finale, which means it is time for the individual performances. Yes, Sasha's performance to Goddess is absolutely incredible and 100% earns her a spot in the final two. That said, I think Luxx's finale number here is criminally underrated, and honestly, even with an unchanged season, she deserves to be in the top 2 over Anitra. Now that we have our top 2, I'm gonna talk for a brief second about fan support. On the original season, Anitra had by far the most fan support by almost 40k, and Sasha was still able to win. So with that in mind, I don't think fan support is going to be what holds back Luxx from the crown. Sasha and Luxx lip-sync to Knock on Wood, and while I do think Luxx is a very creative queen who could put out a very solid lip-sync performance, I don't think she'd be able to beat Sasha. From what we've seen in every modern season of Drag Race, the thing that matters most of all is that final lip-sync performance, and I think Sasha takes it home. The fan vote is a non-factor, and Luxx only has a slightly better track record, so even in this scenario, I think Sasha still takes it home. With that in mind, is this scenario realistic? Not entirely, so for that I will put another point in the tally of yes, Sasha is unbeatable. No individual thing in this scenario was completely ridiculous, but I think the combination of every single star aligning for Luxx happening is somewhat unrealistic. The third scenario I will be looking at is one where Mistress wins. And for Mistress to win, production is going to hand out a win to both groups, meaning that the best queen in each group, Lucy and Mistress, get the win. In addition to giving Mistress another win, this scenario also prevents the massive fight in Untucked that caused a lot of the fans to turn on Mistress in the first place. With that in mind, I think Mistress's standing in the competition is greatly improved. Part 2 of the scenario, yet again, is the country group getting a group win. This moves Mistress to 2 wins, 3 if you add on the acting challenge that she went on to win immediately after. This means that for the first half of the season, Mistress is the clear frontrunner. The next part of the scenario is the crystal ball, and in this scenario things shake out ever so slightly differently, and Mistress gets the win with Sasha and Anitra as high. This puts Mistress at 4 wins. The final part of the scenario comes in the Rusical, and in this timeline, Mistress and Anitra are the top 2. It is a non-elimination, so Mistress and Anitra get to lip-sync to running up that hill. While I don't know for sure who would win this, I think I would give it to Mistress, which would put her at 5 wins. This scenario is incredibly unlikely, but I do think this is what it would take for Mistress to win over Sasha. Looking at the win distribution going into the finale, Mistress is at 5, Luxx and Sasha are at 3, and Anitra is at 2.5. Based off that, I would say Mistress is the frontrunner in the competition going into the finale. We once again arrive at a finale. Mistress is given a slightly better song than she was originally, giving her and Sasha the top 2 placements of the season. In terms of the fan vote, I think Sasha still takes it home. Yes, the main thing that dragged down Mistress in terms of fan support didn't happen, but looking back at the way Drag Race has treated almost every single villain, something else Mistress did later on in the season would probably get the Mistress hate train running. If anyone in this cast is going to tie Sasha in the lip sync to Knock on Wood, it would be Mistress, but I don't think she would pull it off. With that in mind, I'm going to give this category to Sasha, meaning in all 3 scenarios we have examined, Sasha Colby is unbeatable. Even if Mistress has 2 more wins, I think Sasha pulls ahead based off lip sync performance and fan vote. The final scenario I will be looking at where someone other than Sasha could win is a season where Sapphira is cast on season 15 and the entire season is just Sasha and Sapphira having one giant mother off. Looking at the runs of both Sasha and Sapphira, they have very different skill sets in terms of wins. Sasha was able to get her wins in the Advertising Challenge, Ball, Interview Challenge, and Roomix. Sapphira got her wins in the Talent Show, Roomix, Hosting Challenge, and Design Challenge. Both queens are very strong in different areas, meaning both of these queens will likely be picking up a lot of challenge wins. This would 100% fuel a Sasha vs Sapphira friendly rivalry. It also helps that both queens have the exact same track record from their original seasons. They both competed in 13 episodes and earned 50 points, giving them the exact same score. While the edit would not tell you this, based off the actual placements on Drag Race, they did do equally well. Factoring in all of that as well as their strengths, there is a shot Sapphira takes this home. Is it likely? No, not at all. Sapphira wasn't even able to win her season. Could she win this? Probably not, but it is still enough of a possibility that I wanted to consider it. In the end, I don't think there is a reasonable scenario in which Sasha does not take home this crown. She really is that good of a competitor, and she had so much fan support that even the likeliest scenario of these four, which is Anitra winning, still sounds completely insane to me. Hey, it's Drag Race Rejudged. Do you want gay shit? Well then check out the RuPaul's Drag Race Rejudged YouTube channel and hit subscribe.